Boys, we finally made it. UFC 302 fight week. We went a full week, no UFC, but we are back now. Finally, Islam Makhachev taking on Dustin Poirier. And you know, I usually try to post these like Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday at the latest. But I'm going to try to post all of these fight predictions on Monday, having it out the whole weekday before the fights. That's what I'm going to try to aim on doing from now on. I try to save this for the end, but we're trying to hit 500 subscribers. So if you guys haven't yet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss any of my newest videos. But with that being said, we're going through every single fight on this card from the early prelims all the way up to the main event. And I'm going to give you guys my predictions on who I think is going to win each fight and how, starting with the early prelim opener of Andre Lima taking on, I don't even know how the hell you pronounce this guy's name, Nyamjargal, I think. I don't know, weird ass name, have no idea how the hell you pronounce. Both fighters undefeated. Nyamjargal coming in here short notice. I think it's like around a week notice, and to be honest, he hasn't fought the highest level of competition compared to someone like Andre Lima. Now again, Andre Lima, the guy who did get bit by Igor in his last fight, he was looking really good. Both of them, like I said, undefeated. Last fight looking really good against Igor. It was a very, very competitive fight, but I guess there was an argument that he could have been losing that fight, but regardless, it was a very competitive fight. And the fact that he got the bite bonus and he got that shit tattooed on his arm, instant fan favorite right there, opening up this pay-per-view. Now Andre Lima, he is, in my opinion, the more explosive, the faster, the guy who has fought harder competition at the highest level. And again, the other guy coming in here short notice, I don't think he's gonna be able to do much against Andre, to be honest. Even if it was a full camp, I just think Andre Lima is overall just a better fighter. Give me a 30-27 every single round decision win for Andre Lima. Let's keep moving on. Women's bantamweight division, Ailin Perez taking on Joselyne Edwards. Edwards, the one with a longer reach, and to be honest, that's about it that she has going for her in this fight. This is a very, in my opinion, a very bad style matchup for Edwards. Ailin Perez, when it comes to the feet, I guess I could see Edwards being slightly better, but I don't think it's going to be anything dramatic. Perez, on the other hand, has way better grappling. I feel like she could take Edwards down repeatedly throughout this fight, over and over and over again, and I think that's how she's going to win this fight. Again, I think it's going to be another decision win, probably 29-28, 30-27 decision win for Perez. Do I see either of these girls finishing each other? Not really, to be honest. I could see it being, if anything, I could see Perez getting like a TKO ground and pound win, but other than that, standing up wise, I don't see it happening. So give me Ailin Perez by decision. Let's keep moving down. Welterweight division, Gall taking on Bassil Hafez. Gall, the taller opponent. Really about it that Gall has going for him. Bassil has a crazy good pace, constantly putting his opponent on the back foot. In my opinion, he has a good chin too, and just better than Gall everywhere, to be honest. And you know, there's a possibility that this man is on the sauce. So those two factors alone, especially when people are, you know, more likely on the sauce, that's just another reason why I'm going for Bassil all day. Again, I think he's just better all around than Gall. I think Bassil will just suffocate him with a non-stop pressure, eventually getting him pushed up against the cage, doing some nasty work in the clinch, going for takedown and takedowns. I could see him gassing out Gall eventually, but Gall does have some decent ground game. I could see a situation where Gall reverses Bassil and gets on top of him, maybe goes for submissions, ground and pound. But to be honest, I'm seeing a Bassil 29-28 decision win, but I would not be surprised if Bassil can get some sort of submission throughout the fight, but more likely than not, I can see some sort of decision win. Like I said, likely on the sauce as well. I think he's going to be way stronger than Gall in there. Do I see him gassing out? I mean, there is a possibility for that, but I don't see it happening. But that is every single fight on the early prelims. Let's keep moving on to the normal prelims. Welterweight division yet again. Niko Price taking on Alex Morono. And you know, I used to be a fan of Niko Price, but unfortunately, I think much like Barboza, you know, Father Time has caught up to him, and it caught up to him quickly. I mean, just look at him on screen. This man has aged terribly with all the wear and tear on his body, all the wars he's been into. With that being said, you know, at this point in time, even a fly could knock out Niko Price. He doesn't have the best fundamentals in the world. He's a very wild fighter. Alex Morono, in my opinion, better everywhere. Cleaner striking. He's been more active than Niko Price. I think the fact that Niko Price is coming to the later end of his career is going to play a big factor. And to be honest, I could see Alex Morono second round TKO KO win. I think it's going to take Alex Morono a round and a half-ish to find his shot against Niko Price, because like I said, Niko Price is a very wild fighter, doesn't have like the textbook fundamentals when it comes to striking. It's very just all over the place. And because of that, I think it's going to take Morono a little bit to find the shot to put out Niko Price, because like I said, even a fly nowadays can KO Niko Price. We saw Robbie Lawler just clean knock out Niko Price. I think that was the last fight he was in, with the uppercut that looked like he wasn't even giving it his all. It kind of looked like he was holding back a little bit, and it still knocked him out clean. So I don't know what to say about Niko Price. I think, like I said, Father Time has caught up to him quickly. I don't see a way for him winning this fight, to be honest. It's not like Alex Morono is like the best welterweight in the world right now. We just saw him fighting against Court McGee. Nothing special in that fight either, but Niko Price, way past his prime. All the wars have caught up to him, and yeah, Alex Morono by, I'm going to say, second round KO. Let's keep moving down. Again, another welterweight fight. Philip Rowe taking on Jake Matthews. I really want Jake Matthews to win here, but I'm not going to lie, this is a terrible matchup style-wise for Jake Matthews. Phil Rowe, though, way taller and has a huge reach advantage. Now, if Jake Matthews can stay close to Phil Hawes, keep it in his striking range, because his strikes are super like tight and crisp compared to like big looping shots. He needs to keep it in a semi-close range in order to reach Phil Rowe, but Phil Rowe, like I said, has a huge reach advantage. I don't see Jake Matthews getting that close, and when he does get that close, I think it's going to be Phil Rowe engaging into that, throwing heavy knees, some great clinch work. Phil Rose has some really underrated clinch work, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, it's just a very bad matchup stylistically wise for Jake Matthews. I want him to get it done, and if he does get it done, I can see it being a KO win, but unfortunately, I see Phil Rose going out here, keeping it at range for all 3 rounds, and winning it by decision, maybe 29-28, 30-27 at the most. But yeah, Phil Rowe, decision win. Let's keep moving down. Lightweight division. Grant Dawson taking on Joe Solecki. Joe Solecki coming off that terrible slam KO loss. Grant Dawson also coming off that terrible Bobby Green KO loss. But Joe, on the other hand, he is super slow compared to someone like Grant Dawson. And is it just me, or has Grant Dawson had one of the biggest fall-offs in recent UFC memory? I remember on the lead up to the Bobby Green fight, the amount of hype he was getting, the amount of press he was getting, the amount of attention the UFC was giving him, making it seem like he's the next contender for Islam and he's going to give Islam his hardest test yet. Then just to get flatline KO by Bobby Green in like a minute. Biggest fall off in recent UFC memory, at least from what I remember. But other than that, Grant Dawson, he's a really good grappler, but at this point, you know, coming off that Bobby Green knockout, he has a very questionable chin. If Bobby Green could find his chin, Joe Solecki could find his chin. Do I see that happening? Absolutely not. I see this ending in some sort of submission. I'm leaning more to that Grant Dawson side. I think Grant Dawson is going to repeatedly take down Joe Solecki. Probably a late round 2 or early round 3 submission from Grant Dawson. I'm going to say maybe like a rear naked choke as Joe Solecki's trying to get back up. Or maybe like an arm and triangle choke. Something like that. I can definitely see Grant Dawson getting it done submission wise. A good bounce back opponent for Grant Dawson after that pretty humiliating Bobby Green fight. But regardless, let's keep moving on. I think this is the main event of the prelims. César Almeida taking on Roman Kopylov. For some reason, guys, I'm smelling a César Almeida win here. César Almeida undefeated. Roman Kopylov, on the other hand, really good. Kind of got fraud checked, I guess you can say, against Anthony Hernandez, but not really, to be honest. Both of these guys were pretty big prospects. One of them just had to lose. In my opinion, it wasn't much of like a fraud check, but regardless of that, Roman Kopylov, on the other hand, I think is faster. The strength-wise is about even for them. And in my opinion, Roman Kopylov is just more rounded than César Almeida. Nasty body work for Roman Kopylov. But, you know, for some reason, César Almeida, glory kickboxer. I don't know why. Everything is pointing for Roman Kopylov to win this fight. Doing some nasty body work throughout the fight. But for some reason, I'm seeing César Almeida gain a first-round KO win. I don't know why. Everything is pointing for Roman Kopylov to win. But César Almeida, first round KO, give me that. If it gets past round 2, I think Roman Kopylov would get this an easy KO win, but I'm seeing a first round KO for César Almeida, I'm not gonna lie. But with that being said, main card time, welterweight division, Randy Brown versus Zaleski dos Santos. Now, Randy Brown, the way taller fighter, huge reach advantage. Not gonna lie, a little bit of a sus chin here and there. But all around, I think he's a faster, more explosive fighter. He has way more output than Dos Santos. If you go look at the stats, the significant strikes, they're practically even. They do have Dos Santos actually having more significant strikes landed per minute. However, I think that's a little bit wrong. To be honest, at least in this fight, I think Randy Brown is going to have the more activity. And this is where like some of the stats can be very deceiving. So for the strikes landed per minute, Zaleski Dos Santos actually has more significant strikes. Randy Brown has it by 4% more. Absorbed per minute, they have it equal at 3.3. And then the defense percentage, Dos Santos is actually a little bit higher at 57% compared to Randy Brown, 54%. But regardless of that, I think Randy Brown, the way more well-rounded fighter. You can't really write off Randy Brown when he lost a striking match to someone like JDM. But regardless, I think Randy Brown has everything here to win. I think this reach advantage is definitely going to be a huge factor in this fight. Give me Randy Brown, I think maybe like a round 2 TKO, to be honest. Grappling wise, I think Randy Brown is a little bit better. But to be honest, I could see this being more of a striking match than a grappling match. Let's keep moving down though. Heavyweight division. Jailton Almeida taking on Alexander Romanov. Romanov just the bigger, fatter heavyweight, to be honest. Almeida has a reach advantage, and I think this is a very clear and cut case of Jailton Almeida getting this win. Once again, Jailton Almeida on the sauce. I think he's just going to continuously ragdoll Romanov until he gasses out in round 2 and then TKO him from there. I could see round 1 being a very heavy grappling approach where Jailton Almeida is just smothering Alexander Romanov the entire first round, making him constantly have to work until he gasses out because, like I said, he is the bigger, fatter heavyweight out of the two. And yeah, I think it's not going to take much to gas out Romanov. Round 2, I could see it being an early to mid-round TKO win from probably like Mount or something like that. In my opinion, one of the locks of the cards is Jailton Almeida. But let's keep moving on. Middleweight division. Early replacement, Kevin Holland taking on Michal Oleksiejczuk. Now, Kevin Holland, the way taller fighter, has a bigger reach advantage. Honestly, has a pretty underrated ground game because I'm not gonna lie, Michal has a really good grappling game, and I could definitely see a world where Michal gets a takedown on Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland reverses it and gets a submission win. Because a lot of people think, Kevin Holland is just this KO artist. He only gets KOs when only half of his wins come from KOs, and 28, almost 30% of his wins come from submissions. I could definitely see a world where Kevin Holland gets maybe like a Darce choke on Michal, getting that reversal. But to be honest, it all depends on which Kevin Holland shows up. As of recently, it's been harder and harder to pick him. He doesn't seem to be taking his career that seriously. He could be a huge threat in any weight class, to be honest, if he just decides to actually care about his career. Because to be honest, let's think about it like this way. Who has more to gain from winning this fight, Michal or Holland? In my opinion, if Kevin Holland loses this fight, nothing really changes, to be honest. If he wins this fight, again, nothing really changes. Where if Michal wins this fight, getting that big name in Kevin Holland on your resume will definitely help him get better matchups and higher up the rankings. But regardless, I think Kevin Holland should be able to get this one done. Again, it just depends on which Kevin Holland shows up. He's a faster out of the two. He's more slick defensive-wise, striking-wise. But it's so... I wouldn't recommend betting on Kevin Holland whatsoever. But he has everything in his arsenal to win this one. Give me Kevin Holland by a second-round reversal like Darce choke. That's what I'm seeing. Let's move over. Co-main event time, middleweight division. Sean Strickland taking on Paulo Costa. Sean Strickland, of course, is going to have that reach advantage because Paulo Costa has those T-Rex arms. I think realistically, the only way Paulo Costa can win this fight is landing some sort of lucky KO punch. Now, 85% of Paulo Costa's wins do come from that TKO KO win. And Sean Strickland, on the other hand, great defensive boxing. Going backwards, going forwards. He's always very, very slick with it. Great defense. Probably one of the best defenses in the middleweight division. He has that Philly shell. He's able to parry these shots. And Paulo Costa is not the most technical fighter. Definitely more of a brawler than anything else. And to be honest, this man has not been the same since the Izzy fight. Let's be realistic. If Paulo Costa did not have Instagram, did not have Twitter, did not have any social media, this man's career would have been over. He would have been cooked a long time ago. The only thing really keeping him in the spotlight is his social media game, which, props to him. I'm not hating whatsoever. I love me some Paulo Costa Twitter. I'm not going to lie. But regardless of that, he's never been the same fighter. And to be honest, I could see Deshaun Strickland putting a bad beating on Paulo Costa. I think for some reason this is a 5-round fight. I could be wrong. I'm trying to see how many rounds this is going to be. But for some reason, I remember hearing it's going to be a 5-rounder. I don't know where the hell I saw this, but I do remember it saying 5 rounds. I'm trying to find it anywhere here, and I can't find it anywhere. But if it is a 5-round fight, that's not a good fight for Paulo Costa. I would say the shorter rounds are definitely better for Paulo Costa. I don't think we've ever seen Paulo Costa go all 5 rounds. I could be mistaken, but I don't remember it going all 5 rounds. Regardless, I don't see it going past 3 rounds, to be honest. I see like a mid-round 3 TKO win. I could see Sean Strickland just putting a bad beating on Paulo Costa. I don't think we're going to see him drop or flatline Paulo Costa. I could see one of these fights where Paulo Costa gets rocked badly and falls into the cage, barely being able to stand up, and Sean Strickland just raining punches on him. Herb Dean having to step in and calling it off. That's what I'm personally seeing. Or I could see a fight where Sean Strickland wins at least 3, maybe 4 of these rounds. But regardless, I see Sean Strickland winning this fight. And unless Paulo Costa lands some sort of lucky spinning heel kick like he did on Bobby Knuckles, I don't see him getting it done. But with that being said, move over to the main event time. Lightweight division, championship belt on the line. We have Islam Makhachev taking on Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Everything in me wants me to say Dustin Poirier has got this. And there's one factor that I think if this does happen, Dustin Poirier is winning the fight regardless. Bet the house on Dustin Poirier if this happens, but we'll get to that at the very end. First off, Islam Makhachev. He is not taking Dustin Poirier lightly at all. He has been training like a madman. If you've been watching his social medias, this man, he's putting everything into this fight camp. I think he's trying to show Dustin Poirier the levels in this game. And, a lot of people are saying, on the feet, Dustin Poirier is going to wipe the floor with Islam Makhachev. But a lot of people are forgetting how good Islam's striking has gotten. I think a lot of people just remember, he got knocked out that one time. But he completely changed his game after that. He's not like a striker where he's going to be running towards you. He's more of like a counter striker nowadays. If he does go first, it's usually with a kick, some knees, some elbows. He's not running towards you. He's keeping really good distance. Plus, Coach Khabib is in the corner this time. I don't know if he's going to walk out Islam and be in his actual corner during the fight. But Coach Khabib is there helping Islam throughout this training camp. Khabib obviously has already beat Dustin Poirier, so he has a bunch of knowledge on how to beat him a second time. However, if Paulo Costa shows up to the fight and that fight doesn't end weirdly, any controversial way, I'm not talking like a controversial like TKO win, but I'm talking like a nut shot that they call off the fight because he can't get up, something like that. If none of that happens and it plays out normally and Paulo Costa does make the walk, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the Paulo Costa curse when it comes to champions, but every single championship fight that has played out and Paulo Costa is on that undercard, the champion lost the belt every single time. Going all the way back to UFC 212, Aldo versus Max, Aldo lost the belt. UFC 217, Bisping versus GSP, Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw, Cody lost the belt. Joanna the Boogie Woman taking on Thug Rose. Joanna lost the belt. Moving up to 226. Stipe versus DC. Stipe lost the belt. UFC 241. DC lost the belt to Stipe. UFC 278. Usman lost the belt to Leon. And then just recently, Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. We all know how that one played out. We don't need to be reminded of it, but there's a pretty hefty curse going on with Paulo Costa. So again, if he makes a walk, no weird shit happens, put the house down on Dustin Poirier to win. But other than that, I see Islam making this look pretty easy. I'm not gonna lie. I could see him I could see him winning submission or a KO TKO win, to be honest. Islam is really about that, wanting to prove that he's better than his opponents everywhere. So if he really wanted to, I could see him trying to finish Dustin Poirier by KO. I'm not going to lie. But regardless of that, that is every single fight. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Is Dustin going to pull this off? I want him to. And yeah, finally, we're here, fight week. Let me know what you guys think of this card. Honestly, it's a pretty good pay-per-view. Lots of good fights in the prelims and early prelims, I'm not gonna lie. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. If you haven't yet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss any of my newest videos. And yeah, there's really not that much else left to say, except for I will see you guys in my next video.